What's up everyone, this is Tyler with Recess, and today we are going to learn 5 dope binds. Binds are really cool because they are the resolution or ending to a trick. So if you know anything about music, like the resolution chord, the one that ends the progression of chords, it adds like a really nice ending to the song, and it's like a pleasing feeling to your ear almost to hear. So it's a similar feeling to a trick. Like after you do a really cool combination of tricks, you have like a really cool bind at the end. It almost just adds that icing on the cake, so to speak, that gives it that flavor, that zest, that people go, ooh, wow, look at that trick, versus someone else who just did the same trick, but maybe they didn't do such a fancy bind at the end. So again, these ones are dope binds to add at the end of your combos. Bind number 1 we're going to learn is a flyaway bind. It looks like a flyaway dismount if you had a responsive yo-yo, but to do this, you're simply going to dismount from a trapeze. You're going to take your non-throw hand middle finger. So after you are dismounting off your trapeze, which is held on your index finger, it goes to your middle finger. What you're going to do is kind of throw your yo-yo up against this string. And as you can see, this is the string that you would ordinarily bind your yo-yo with. Then as it hits that string at its very peak, you're going to let go of your non-throw hand. And it's going to hopefully bind into the string and then come back to your throw hand, okay? A tip to make that work a little bit easier, I know I was demonstrating, showing you how it hits the string very close to my non-throw hand, but as you can see, once I did the bind, I got it pretty close to my throw hand, okay? Because the more string that you have to bind with, as I'm sure you know, the easier your yo-yo will bind and return back to your hand. Bind number 2 we're calling the open string bind. It looks like this. And as you can see, I threw my yo-yo front style, and once you learn how to bind, you're always binding against the spin. My yo-yo is spinning forward, so our whip is going backward or behind the yo-yo, like that. Okay, the things that you want to focus on to get this bind to work are hang time with your yo-yo. So as you can see, when I'm pulling the yo-yo up, it has a nice like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 seconds of air time. So I have plenty of time to whip my string underneath and get the yo-yo to bind and come back. The other thing you want to focus on is how close the yo-yo is to your hand for 2 reasons. Number 1 is that you have all this string to bind the yo-yo up with, okay? And the other reason is for aim, okay? The closer that your yo-yo is to your throw hand, the closer it is to the finger that your yo-yo string is attached to, and that's really where you want to aim that string into the yo-yo gap to get your yo-yo to come back. Bind number 3 is the slap bind. It looks like this. So it's a similar motion to the open whip bind or open string bind. That was the number 2 bind in this video. But instead of whipping the string into the yo-yo gap like that, you're actually going to whip the string kind of behind the yo-yo to get this loop to come around this side of your yo-yo, the side that's on your non-throw hand. Okay. Once you're comfortable with this whipping motion and getting your string to pass behind your yo-yo, you need to get prepared with your non-throw hand to slap your string back. And again, you want to make sure that your yo-yo is getting as close as you can to your throw hand. This again makes it easier because you have all this string to then whip into the yo-yo. And it also helps you with aim, because the closer the yo-yo is to your throw hand and the closer it is to the string that's attached to your hand, the easier it will be to aim the string in the yo-yo. Bind number 4 is the open string arm bind. It looks like this. So it's kind of like the same motion we've learned with our previous binds, like this same underwhip motion that you've learned with all the other binds, but instead of bringing it directly into the yo-yo gap, you're going to let this string, like we learned like in the slap bind, you're going to let that string come over and then drape over your non-throw hand arm as your yo-yo is suspended in midair. Then you're going to let the yo-yo fall onto the string, and then as the yo-yo falls down, your string binds up into the yo-yo gap, bringing it back up to your throw hand like so. If you're having problems landing the yo-yo on the string, remember, like every other bind we've talked about in this video, the closer the yo-yo is to your throw hand, the more string that you have to actually bind your yo-yo up with, and the easier it is to aim because you're really focusing on the string that's attached to your throw hand, and the closer it is to that string, the easier it is to aim the yo-yo to hit that string and bind the yo-yo back up. Bind number 5 is the open string shoulder bind. It looks like this. So to perform this bind, just like every other one, we're going to start with this rotating string whipping motion like we've learned, okay? But you're going to over whip the string, and instead of ending here, you're going to bring your hand all the way back like this so that that big loop ends up on your shoulder here, okay? And once again, like always, we're going to focus on the string that's attached to your throw hand, because once you land the yo-yo on that string, that's the one that's going to bind it up and bring it back to your hand. For the over rotation of the string on the open whip shoulder bind, it's a really difficult whip to master, so you want to make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of hang time with the yo-yo. And as always, the closer that your yo-yo is to your throw hand when you're performing these binds, it gives you all of this string to bring the yo-yo back to your hand, and also it's much easier to aim, okay? Those are 5 introductory binds to start spicing up your combinations of tricks. Leave some comments down below if you have other variations that you want me to teach in the future. Make sure that you comment with a link to a video so that I can see them, because a lot of the times I don't know the names of them. And also make sure that you subscribe and check out other videos, and we will see you next time. Can't believe I landed that.